Yesterday, Liz was sitting in a staff meeting at Intel when her boss's boss announced to the entire room, "I am one of Liz's followers." Instead of hiding under the table, she embraced it. Today, we're talking about what it's really like to be loud and proud about your YouTube side hustle while working full-time at a Fortune 500 company, and how that confidence translates into better sponsorship deals when you're not desperate for the money. So Liz, you are very loud and proud about the fact that you have a full-time job in addition to being a YouTuber. You work at Intel, you're an engineer, and you even mentioned that your coworkers follow you, or your boss, they know that this is something that you do. And a lot of creators are very nervous about, they feel like they're living a double life. So what gives you the confidence to just be so open about it?
Yeah, I started being open originally. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I was working at a construction company, and I did all their trainings internally. So I was like the training girl. And so I was on camera for the trainings. And then I just was like, you know what? I should start a YouTube channel. So I started posting and I sent it to a few people. I was mortified to share it with coworkers at that time, unless they were like my close friends. If they were my, your besties that are at work, I would share with them. But I was scared that like my real coworkers that you don't really talk to other than like actual work would find it. So I kept it kind of quiet for like the first couple years. Once I had like 1,000 subscribers, I'm like, okay, I'm like legit now. I don't know what it is about that first 1,000. I was like, oh, this is legit. So when I started at Intel, I had about 1,000 subscribers. Now they had known that I had a YouTube channel because when I applied for the job, so I'm a mechanical engineer, but I don't have a background in data science, but I was applying for like a data science kind of programming role. So what I did on YouTube was I posted all this like nerd content on like coding and developing. And so I put it on my resume. And so they clicked it and were like, oh, we see you're really into programming. And they said they loved it because they didn't have to interview me very long. So they only interviewed me for like 20 minutes because they'd watched all my videos. So it helped me get my job at Intel in a sense. And then my current manager, very aware that I have a YouTube channel and gives me so much crap because I'll take vacation to go to all these YouTube stuff. I was in New York for an event and I was in LA earlier this year. And he's like, okay, Miss Hollywood, over. But they all know. And my boss's boss, actually yesterday in like a staff meeting, was like, I'm a follower. And I was like, oh God. Do
you feel like cringy, like you want to like go this when they say stuff like that, or not really? You're just like,
yeah, I cringe a little bit because I'm like, oh, I forget that like people can go watch this. Like they can go and log in and like for free and go watch me film in my bedroom. Oh, it's a very weird concept because you think that they're not watching, but they are. They're taking a peek. And so it's a very weird concept to have it at work. And a lot of times people message me at Intel because Intel's a huge company. So I've had people IM me through Intel because they work at Intel. And then they're like trying to meet me and I'm like, okay, no. There are boundaries. Like it feels like a smaller world than it really is. But yeah, so I have people that'll come in and message me at work and I'm like, no. It's so different.
So we did another episode on the podcast around some sponsorships that you've done for your YouTube channel. And so I'm curious, like when you decided to start kind of making side hustle income, basically, right? Like doing sponsorships, you get AdSense, you do consulting and all that. Was there ever a concern in your mind that your employer would like frown upon that, or like not be cool with that, or like your head's not in the game, Liz, like, you need to be concentrating on this? Like I hear that as a concern from a lot of creators who, again, have this like kind of double life. They're worried that their employer will look down on the fact that they're not focusing on their full-time gig.
Yeah, it is a huge concern, and it is something that I think about a lot. You can go two ways. You can just not tell your employer because it's none of their business, or you can kind of embrace it and be known as like kind of a workaholic, which is the route I went. Like I just have coined myself as a workaholic. I can't not work. Like I take vacation to work more. So, and like I'm sometimes get concerned that my manager will be like, well, you're burning yourself out. And so then you're not bringing your full self to Intel or, to your day job. But there was an article, I think, that came out that's saying employees that have side hustles are actually more productive. So I think as long as you're performing well, it's not really a concern. Everyone who's in the executive team who would be like higher level, has always supported it. They've never been like, oh, you're not focused. If anything, I think it's really cool that I have like kind of a side thing. But at the end of the day, I am a top performer. You get graded, at Intel, there's a grading scale. Every quarter, they literally rank you. So if you'll know if you're underperforming and your head's not in the game. But if you're a high performer, typically I see people who run businesses on the side, who do consulting on the side, who do YouTube on the side, they're also high performers at work. So as long as you're matching your high performance outside of work and inside of work, then I'm not as concerned.
Hey, just a quick heads up, my in-person event, Sponsor Games, is happening March 15th to the 18th, 2026 in San Antonio, Texas. It's the only event in the world where you can practice your sponsorship pitch, do real-time negotiation role play, connect with other creators landing 4- and 5-figure brand deals, and potentially win our cash grand prize. Here's what Doc Williams had to say about where his business was at before attending Sponsor Games.
I just felt defeated. I didn't know how to talk to brands confidently. I hadn't closed any long-term deal and I felt disillusioned. I was like, I don't think I can really make money on sponsors, but if I can win the games, I can make money off of that. And then going out, I was like, this feels sustainable. This feels like I can actually do this with my business long-term.
Any big wins that you can share after the event?
I mean, pretty much all my deals. But afterwards, I was like, we've done multiple 15K deals. And friends of mine, when I told them about like, you just have to do this. My friend, he's always complaining, no one hits him up, blah, 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 blah. He'd never made more than $500 from a sponsor. I was like, just do this method. I was like, read this. And he closed him at 35K for 6 events. He's a local creator in a small town. And it was just because of that one thing in the bio.
So if you want to have the same transformation that Doc and his friend had, go to sponsorgames.com to grab your ticket. We're capping it at 75 creators this year. And actually, I forgot to tell you the craziest part. Every single meal is catered. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. We're basically blowing a huge chunk of the budget on amazing food. So what are you even waiting for? Go to sponsorgames.com to grab your spot. It's really interesting that you embraced it from day one, because I remember when I'm an engineer actually by my background too, and I was in medical devices, and I didn't do that. I didn't tell them, like, really, my wife and I had kind of had like a secret YouTube channel. It wasn't like it was disinformation. It was just like we just decided we're not going to like spread this, but it very much for a long time felt like I had to be surreptitious about the whole thing, and like we're there from 9 to 5, and then from my 5 to 9 I'm like grinding on the YouTube channel and all that. And I distinctly remember just this moment where I got so fed up with the fact that I felt like I had two sides of my life that I just decided, you know what, I'm going to add to my LinkedIn profile that I'm a YouTuber. Like just one night I was just like, all right, I'm going to update my profile. And sure enough, like the next day someone said, hey, I saw you update your LinkedIn profile. You're a YouTuber? You have a YouTube channel? What's your link? What's the URL? And I was like, oh gosh, here we go. But you know what? I had this for years, I had this vision in my head that like the moment everyone found out, it was going to be, they were going to make fun of me and look down on me and like, oh, what's that? Because even, in 2009, it was still pretty much kind of like a novelty in those early days. And you know what happened? Yeah, a few people, kind of poked fun a little bit, but like most people were like, wow, this is really cool. Like, how'd you do that? How'd you start that? Do you make the money doing that? Right. And so I felt like I spent so long, such a big part of my life worrying about this moment. And when I ultimately decided to embrace it, it was like a total non-issue,
Yeah, it's almost like you build up in your head, but once you kind of release it and you just be yourself, like this is part of your life, people are really open about it. And I like it because it differentiates me from my other coworkers who are working with me. It's like, what differentiates you at your work? What is your unique thing? And mine's just YouTube. So I'm just known as that YouTube girl. And it leads to other stuff where anytime we do a video, marketing video, anything at work, I'm always asked to do the voiceover. I'm asked to be on camera. I did like an employee, you could submit like a video, and I was like, this is my moment. I submitted one, and it was just like exactly like I filmed my YouTube videos, and they played it in the staff meeting, and I was like, I'm dying inside. Like I'm actually dying, because they like played it in front of everyone, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should have submitted that, but it was still cool. And yeah. And my manager, he also gives me a lot of ideas. So there'll be companies that my manager will be like, hey, have you checked out this company? This company's pretty cool. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he's like, you should check out this company. And sometimes they'll be like my top performing videos. I'm like, oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that idea.
That's amazing. And, also what a difference it makes to have a supportive work environment where it's like, you don't feel like you have to get away from your job. Like, I can't wait to like tuck and quit this job. It's like, no, actually, I feel supported. I love it here. And so like, when you think about, for example, sponsorships and the extra income that you make doing that, is this set up where you like are kind of, you're still working your full-time job and you're doing YouTube on the side? Do you see the sponsorships continuing to fund? Is it just like play money and it's like extra income that's fun? Or are you hoping to like reinvest the sponsorship money back into the channel? Or like, how do you think about the income that comes along with doing this side hustle?
So I have my main income, which I'm highly paid. So that was another concern, was I don't want people to think that I'm like asking, I want even more money because I look kind of greedy. So that was one of my bigger ones. So I'm like, I'm a highly paid, well up in the, Intel sphere working. So I like have a full career. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of awkward. But I have my main income, which allows me to have my benefits, right? Like my 401k. I don't have to worry about HSA, 401k, all that, retirement stuff, healthcare, all that. And then I have my base salary. The extra income is really, I really just wanted to start a business to see if I could like maintain it and be profitable. And it's almost like I was trying to get like an MBA in a sense, because I was like, I started the business before I even knew what I wanted to do. I just knew I was going to make something. And so I started LLC, and I just wanted to see if I could do the accounting, if I could manage the funds, if I could invest in like stay profitable as a business. And so I just keep growing it. So I'm just trying to grow it and grow it and grow it. Eventually down the road, I mean, I'd love to take it full time, but I don't feel rushed because I have such a nice job. Like, I'm so content with my career. Like, I'm growing each year. I'm learning new things each year. My manager is like my best manager I've ever had. I'm like, I've followed this manager to multiple different companies. Like, we worked at another company. He went to Intel, so I went to Intel. So I'm like, I kind of feel very content with my job, and especially because they're very supportive of the YouTube channel. So, and the side hustles and all the things that I do. So there's no rush, which is nice. So I'm not feeling like, oh, I got to get out of my 9 to 5, and I got to quit my day job. I don't feel any of that pressure. So it's kind of gets to be fun, and I get to be a little pickier with sponsorships.
Yeah.
And really only partner with companies I love.
Right.
So it allows for a lot more flexibility.
Have you experienced times in your life where friends or family or other people who are a bit condescending about the fact that you're an influencer on the internet? Like, has that been something that has occurred for you?
I would say most of my family, my family does not watch my YouTube channel. They have no idea. My mom spells YouTube with a U, like a literal U. Like, she doesn't know how to spell YouTube. So, like, I send her videos. I know she's not watching them. She'll send them to her friends, and I think they think it's cute. But in their head, I'm the engineer at Intel. I'm not the YouTuber. So, like, they haven't quite swapped over to how serious I'm taking it, where I'm like, no, I'm making money. Like, this like, some people do this. So they're liking it, and my friends are always super supportive. My friend was like screenshotting my millionaire video, and she was like, this is really good advice. I'm going to set up a 401k, and I've set up every one of my friends' Roth IRAs from a video that I did. They were like, just come over. I just came over and set up everyone's Roth IRAs one day. I just followed my own video. But
Right.
I would say most people are really supportive. My dad was super, super supportive. Early on, he passed away like 4 years ago. He
I'm so
would watch
sorry.
every video. Every video. I would see him. He was so ahead of the game. He was old, very old. And he was on that YouTube on YouTube on the phone. And I wish you would have seen some of the cooler videos I did now. He watched some really terrible videos.
Yeah.
So, they kind of forget, to be honest, about the YouTube stuff until I send them something. And I'm like, hey, I was on this, or I went here. And they're like, wow, you're doing a lot.
That's amazing. That's amazing. If you could give like one piece of advice to a creator listening or watching this who is not quite yet confident enough to divulge their secret of like tell people in their real life about, what they're doing on the internet, what would you say to give them the confidence to do so?
I would say that you're going to want to wait until you're comfortable, because there's nothing worse than regretting something. But it's not as big of a deal as you think. Like, I know that it feels like, oh my gosh, the whole world is going to figure out that I'm actually trying at something. I mean, you're not really afraid of the people, the thoughts of, you're scared that people are going to see you trying. Like they're gonna see you trying to do something different and you're gonna get judged for it. That's really where the fear came from for me. And once I realized, oh, I'm just scared that they're gonna see me try, whatever. They're not trying anything. So like I have to put myself in that mindset in order to kind of get from, not telling anyone to showing something. So maybe wait until you're really proud of a video and then you can kind of show it off.
Now, if you want to hear how Liz landed a sponsorship with one of her dream brands with just 16.5K subscribers, make sure to check out this episode.